Well, you guys, welcome. So excited and so grateful to have all of you join us tonight. You know, it's so exciting to be rolling out the real estate revenue. This is a project that 2 years of our student successes has built upon. Now, we've been working on this for 10 years, and you guys tonight, you have a unique opportunity to be on the ground floor of something that's bigger than all of us. And it doesn't matter if you're just starting your nonprofit, you're going to ignite your passion, or you have a nonprofit that you want to grow your revenue to make even more impact. This opportunity is for everyone, and years worth of work, leaders being brought together. This is where all of us, you guys included, can come together. We all are feeling that shift and that change. It's time for us to step forward and learn about the real estate revenue that's going to bring us to new heights in this country, reshaping the fabric of America. I'm excited to share the best strategy to grow your nonprofit and to make the impact and to live that purpose-driven life. So you guys, you're going to hear the excitement. You're going to hear the passion in our voices. What's happening right now, the things that are being put in our pathway, the doors that are being opened, the level this is being brought to surpasses anything we ever dreamed of. And so with that, I want to introduce Mr. Derek Watson. Derek, are you with us?
Yeah, I am. Hi, how are you?
Hey, Derek, I am so excited. And again, so grateful that all of you have joined us. Take some notes, get your pen and paper ready. Derek Watson has been leading this for 10 years. And the last 2 years, it's successes with our students. He's going to go through that. But I want to tell you a little bit about Derek, because he's going to share all that. Derek is the co-founder of the Power of Purpose. He's an executive director of the nonprofit. He's a social conscious entrepreneur extraordinaire like you've never seen before. Very purpose-driven. And so what Derek's going to lead us through is something we've waited years to roll out. And you guys, with the Power of Purpose, as we've worked with so many of you and we've mentored and we've walked side by side and we've guided, this is the next level. This is we're going to be able to bring solutions to old problems. Think about it. New solutions to old problems. When I talk about that shift that we're feeling, it's time. Now has never been a better time for you guys to step into your power, to live your purpose-driven life, to move forward with that passion and that purpose that you've had by learning how to create the most powerful set of revenue ever in history. So Derek, I'm going to turn it to you to walk us through the real estate revenue.
Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us today. This is something very special, something that we've been building for years, and we've been building it so quickly, so fast that now we need to come full circle and share you guys what we're doing with this incredible program we put together here at the Power of Purpose called Real Estate Revenue, all premised on generating revenue from donated real estate. Okay, so you're going to hear some amazing strategies tonight. So please feel free, take notes, listen to what we're talking about, and just recognize the incredible opportunity before you right now. This is an incredible opportunity, and it's virtually a secret in our world. and again, it's the most incredible opportunity in America today. We strongly feel that. And we're so glad to finally, after years of work, to share data with you guys today and share our strategies, share our results, and how you guys can go out there and get donated real estate to fund your nonprofits and to do amazing things in the social enterprise world. So let's get started. What do you guys say? So again, welcome to Real Estate Revenue. And now before we begin, just, we talk about how many of you are in real estate, right? How many of you in real estate know much about real estate, investing, things of that nature? I see some hands going up. That's great. Okay. Now here's the really, really cool part. I see all these hands being raised up. I see that on your control panel. Okay. Everyone raise their hand. Yeah, let me see it. There you go. Everyone raise your hand. Whoa, my whole screen is full of everyone raising their hand. Oh my goodness, that's amazing. Okay, here's why. Because all of you are officially in real estate now. Everyone here is now officially in real estate as a means of generating funds and revenue. Okay, everyone is now involved in real estate as a means of generating funds and revenue. Now, we talk about this again. I'm going to read this point once again because you're going to see why. This is why it's absolutely amazing. Okay, this is one of the biggest opportunities in America right now that is still a secret, guys. And we'll show you why it's such an untapped resource, and it really is a relative secret. We call it charitable giving of real estate. Okay, and the technical term we're going to be discussing is the charitable giving of real estate. Here we call it real estate revenue. We're generating revenue from real estate. So donations of real estate, same thing. That's what it's called, real estate revenue. Now, picture this number, you guys, right now. Last year, over $468 billion donated to nonprofit organizations. Almost $500 billion was given to nonprofit organizations. Now, almost $500 billion. Okay, think of a number that enormous, right? Approximately 2% of that, of all those charitable donations, of all that near $500 billion came from real estate. 2%. Despite nearly half of all U.S. capital wealth being held in real estate equities. Let's run through that again. Nearly $500 billion in charitable giving to nonprofits, right? Only 2% of that came from real estate, despite real estate equities make up nearly half of our wealth in this country. Do you guys, one, see a disconnect, but two, also see an enormous opportunity? Here's a breakdown of that. We're looking at real estate, bonds, cash, stocks. There it is. Now, cash and equivalents is the majority, right, of our capital as far as charitable giving comes from, typically from cash. It only makes up a fraction of our wealth in this country. Look at that big purple chunk. Okay, nearly half, but yet only counts for 2% of all charitable giving in this country. Another breakdown for you. As far as real estate as it compared to stocks and bonds, commercial, residential, all right, enormous. Now, here's even another niche. This is why this is a secret, okay? So shh, don't tell anybody, okay? On average, of the real estate donations that are presented to nonprofits, almost about 9 in 10 of them are rejected by the nonprofit. The biggest nonprofits you can think of, household names, reject gifts of real estate routinely, systematically reject them. Okay, so think about that. Let's run through that one more time. One more time. Nearly $500 billion going to nonprofit corporations, right? Only 2% of that number is coming from real estate. And of that number that is, the gifts that are presented, 9 times out of 10, they're rejected by the organization outright. Or they'll say, you know what, why don't you go ahead and, as a donor, sell that real estate, pay all these taxes on it, right? All those maintenance costs, all of the burdensome activities associated with selling real estate, right? And then give us what's left. That's not a very attractive strategy. And here's where we flip that. Now, so why is there this huge disconnect? Why is it in the nonprofit world and also the real estate world when it comes to giving, is there this enormous gap, right? This disconnect. It's just simply stated a lack of knowledge. a knowledge that we've learned over years and years, and you'll hear about our mentors and how this came to us and how we've implemented it with our students across the country, how they're using that knowledge and taking it full force and doing incredible things with real estate. There's assumptions of risk and liability, right? We always talk about the assumptions of risk and liability when you take on a piece of real estate, whether it's held privately or especially the nonprofit. All of that risk and liability is attached to accepting real estate. All right, nonprofits do not like that. There's also a big lack of resources and expertise to train staff. Okay, most people in the nonprofit world kind of have a traditionalist fundraising mindset. All right, so they're not really prepared with the knowledge or expertise, or to even train people to bring this in, or to go out there and get solicit donations of real estate. They just lack that knowledge and expertise. Now, so where does this expertise and knowledge come from? Well, before we begin, it's so important that I do this, and we always do. We want to pay homage to an extraordinary individual, our personal mentor, who's been with us for 10 years, Mr. Chase Magnuson. Just an incredible human being who's really pioneered these strategies into the nonprofit world. So just a little background about Chase, our mentor. He has nearly 25 years of experience. He's the nation's #1 leading charitable giving to real estate expert. #1, he's our mentor and has been for years. He's done nearly $300 million in transactions. He's also served as George Washington University's Director of Charitable and Planned Giving. Something real cool, a major university like George Washington University, right? George W. they call it, right? 0 real estate donations, 0 real estate. They bring Chase in to this position. Then the first 24 months, he brings in over $20 million, or excuse me, almost $25 million to their university. Do you think it's attractive now to that university to implement these strategies? Absolutely, you bet. How many of you know about, even right here in our own backyard, right in New Mexico, universities facing budget constraints, right, looking for ways to raise money, athletic programs, I mean, you name it. And this is where some of them are struggling to find cash, having to raise tuition. That's really hurting our students, right? Here's a strategy where they implemented it, and it's really helping resolve that problem. And that's what all of our nonprofits, even those we'll show you in startup mode even, are utilizing these and fundraising and getting their nonprofit seed funded fast. There's also a quick one we'll show you about just the possibilities, you guys, as well. You know, a $9 million property located along Camp David, right? Maybe you know Camp David, right? The presidential getaway property right next to that very large property donated to the university, $9 million property, okay? Now, Chase has been featured in Fortune, the Wall Street Journal, Forbes, all of that. So, and just so many others you can find online. And just, again, I can't reiterate just what an extraordinary man he is, and what he's done to mentor us, that we've taken to our students that have taken this thing, and it's just blown everyone's expectations out of the water of what we can do. It's taken his system and just grown it exponentially with our own system. We've now developed actually our own system, pioneered off Chase's original kind of foundation, which we'll show you here in a bit, and developed our own, where now we get massive volumes of property real estate leads coming in from everywhere. We're going to talk about that in just a bit. But first, let's talk about the types. Let's talk about those types of real estate that are a good fit. What types of real estate are a good fit for a charitable gift to real estate, for real estate revenue? Well, first, let's talk about the basics. Land, right? Is it raw land, undeveloped, developed, vacant lots? Absolutely, you bet. Excellent fit. How about residential? Right, single family homes, 2, 3, 4-plex, absolutely. Commercial properties, as you'll see, commercial properties that we've done, shopping centers, office buildings, hotels, you name it on the commercial side, absolutely a great type of real estate for a donation. Industrial properties, agricultural properties, corporate owned properties. We're going to talk about this in just a little later. Think again about those donations. Think about all of those companies across the country, large and small, right? About a donation of real estate. Many of them have maybe downsized, right? Many of them may have vacant facilities they're no longer using. How many of you know about Sears and Macy's and all these giant chains that are going out of business and leaving these shopping centers now vacant, right? But many of them, the owners still paying on that commercial property as we speak now. You think a donation like this would be great, right? To get that property off of their books as a non-performing asset to help their bottom line? Absolutely. Now, so those are the types of really, before we get into strategies, guys, every real estate out there you can imagine, if it's a vacant lot or a large hotel or an old factory, you name it, with exception of timeshares. Condos, townhomes, we can do it. So these strategies, there's four primary strategies in this realm: a straight donation, a bargain sale, a charitable remainder trust, and a charitable gift annuity. Now we're going to focus on those first two. Okay, why? Because we want to focus on getting revenue right now. There's remainder trust and gift annuity, great strategies. However, that's typically a little more complex to set up, and typically we're not looking at getting the proceeds, the revenue from that real estate until the donor passes away. Great strategies, but we're talking about getting revenue right now for nonprofits who are looking to generate cash, or we're out there starting a nonprofit, we want to get it seed funded right now. We want to focus on that revenue right now. So straight donation, also known as an outright gift, and bargain sale. Those are the two you're going to focus on. All right, write that down: straight donation / outright gift, bargain sale. Let's talk about the straight donation first. Okay, straight donation is the easiest method to facilitate a real estate donation. I mean, we do these so fast. Okay, this is the easiest method to facilitate a real estate donation. So essentially, the property is donated straight over. The nonprofit takes it in, holds it, sells it. All right. So the owner will essentially donate the property straight over. Do as what you will, as you see fit, nonprofit, right? And we will deduct the full value of that property. This is great with properties that are free and clear. We get a lot of these properties that are free and clear, aren't encumbered with a mortgage, right? And we sell them quickly. Really easy to sell a property, right? If you're getting it donated free and clear, even if it's dilapidated, distressed, if it's a vacant land or raw land in the middle of nowhere, but still we're getting it free and clear. Pretty easy to sell, right? Absolutely. So let's talk about some of those donor benefits real quick. So if we're looking at, as a real estate owner, donor seller, to donate a property through a straight donation, what kind of benefits am I looking at? Well, first, by doing that, and we get these done in days, you guys, avoids long, complicated, and messy selling process versus going out there, looking at selling it, right? Perhaps we need an agent broker, list it, because it's still on days on market for so long trying to get it, versus donating a straight nonprofit. We take it in, right? And it literally avoids that entire complicated selling process. The maintenance upkeep issues are involved. Again, we're talking about those non-performing assets, right? Whether it's a private individual or a company like we talked about. If we're talking about it's sitting there, typically it's vacant, but we have all this maintenance. We got to keep it up to code, right? We've got to pay those property taxes on it, all these things to keep it in good order. That's now completely resolved. Capital gains tax issues eliminated, right? Capital gains avoidance. If we're donating straight over to a nonprofit organization, deducting the full market value of that, think about that. Deducting the full market value, not what it's worth now, what you paid for it in the past. So if you bought it for $100,000 20 years ago and now it's worth $300,000, guess what? That's a $300,000 charitable gift. And all those upkeeps, everything up, that's gone. And then any capital gains where you might have sold it, even that selling it for a big discount, just trying to get rid of it, you're going to incur capital gains on that. This is a great way to avoid that. Again, fair market value now and not what paid in the past. That is big. Deduct full market value now, not what you paid for it in the past. Tremendous benefit. Okay. And of course, leave a lasting legacy. You think about all these properties that come to us, not just a non-performing asset. Perhaps it's somebody has a second home, seasonal home, vacation home, a property they're not utilizing, they have no use for, right? Versus looking, just kind of selling it and being rid of it, and just kind of, it's a big headache for them. Perhaps there's a source of pain. When you come in and focus on your mission of your nonprofit, right, how this donation of real estate can benefit a cause or people in the community, and they can donate their real estate to you to benefit that cause, that's leaving a lasting legacy. That's something they can carry forward for the rest of their lives, knowing that. Just so here's a quick chart. Okay, so now some of you are, again, right-brained, right, visual. So we have the donor right here, charity, third-party buyer, okay, and the cash to that. So 2 strategies. Look, we talked about either donating a property over, straight donation, holding it, or the big one that we utilize is selling it, right? We get a property donated straight over. Typically, it's free and clear. We sell it very quickly. It's free and clear to us, right? We just want to sell it fast and generate the cash. That's kind of our unofficial motto here, right? The purpose is to extract the most amount of revenue we can out of a piece of real estate in the quickest manner possible. Okay. Now, this is the secret part right here, you guys, that we do that's really special with our program. Is we mentioned that risk and liability right down here that's associated with nonprofits not taking real estate on. We get around that because we never go into that chain of title if we're selling this property quick. It goes right to the third party buyer. If we're deeding it straight to them, right? We're never in that chain of title. So we don't have to assume any risk and liability because we were never in the chain of title. Now, how did we do that? Again, that is our special sauce. From Chase Magnuson to us to now our top students around the country is really honing in on these strategies. We really look at facilitating that entire process for them. Our nonprofits are never in the chain of title when we're selling properties. They avoid all of that risk and liability. It goes right to a buyer. We sell it quickly and get the cash to the nonprofit. Right? Pretty cool, right? Now you think about, and trust me, you guys, we sat down right here, Sherry, Mom, and I. We sat with the top estate planners in a state, California, New Mexico, you name it, lawyers, accountants. They just cannot get how you can possibly do it. That's why it's such a big secret, because that lack of knowledge. Even they don't even know. We spend so much time educating lawyers, attorneys, you name it, on this same process because it's not readily available to them. Our strategies are just that niche. And we back it with a federal tax court ruling, right, back in the 80s that was reaffirmed a few years later, that tells us that nonprofits have the option whether or not to go in the chain of title. So we base this off of those rulings and structure this in such a way where the nonprofit never goes in the chain of title, doesn't assume the risk and liability. We generate a lot of cash from the sale proceeds of the property and transfer that to the nonprofit. Pretty cool, right? There's a lot of moving parts, pretty complex, but that's what we do every day here. We facilitate that transaction for our students, utilizing those strategies and generating cash. And again, you probably saw in our emails, this group we put together over the course of last year, over $20 million in revenue worth of donated real estate from revenue from that, utilizing these strategies. Pretty cool stuff, huh? Okay, so again, now we talk about how do we do that? How do we convert the equity into revenue? Somebody's been donated a property over to us, right? And so the cash, right? We're selling it, boom, we get cash right into the nonprofit's account. With cash flow from leasing, if we're using that hold strategy, carried financing, we got free and clear donated real estate, right? We can cash flow and we can carry financing. So if we carry a real estate contract or sell on financing, this is how we provide affordable housing, senior housing, you name it, is on that same concept. So now we have cash flow. We can do 1031 exchange, and we can even do joint ventures. We've done joint ventures with other nonprofits involving donated real estate and have the other nonprofits at a well below market fee look at leasing or renting out the property, right? And it generates revenue for ours. That's how we convert the equity into revenue from a straight donation. Let's do a case study. So you guys want to see it live in action? All right. This is pretty cool. This is from one of our top students in the country, one of our mastermind students. This was a historic single-family residential house. So this was a historic home in downtown, over 100 years old. It was approximately worth about $135,000. And the donor seller donated it over free and clear. And the nonprofit received the free and clear property to provide programs and services, receiving cash flow from that, right? So the donor, got a tremendous deal. The nonprofit has the property. Now it can provide programs and services. This happened last year. And look, we just had a ribbon cutting last week. Last week, we did a ribbon cutting with a nonprofit that's now going to be utilizing this for a very, very special use involving veterans. We'll talk about that in just a bit. I want you guys to see where that came from to where it is now. Just last week, it was so cool. It happened just last week on the eve of this live training that there was a ribbon cutting for that. We do so many of these, and you guys will love this strategy after we get the real estate, what we do from there. So what we're going to talk about is one more time before we go to bargain sale. So we talk about the property is donated straight over, an outright gift, do as you see fit. We take it from there. We typically will sell it for cash to the nonprofit cash. Okay, but in this straight donation case study, again, the donor got a $135,000 tax deduction. That's considered a charitable gift. That was the approximate value of the property. That's for them. The nonprofit got the property to provide programs and services. In this case, they're providing housing for veterans. Pretty cool. And now one little caveat, and it's not too advanced, but I want to share it with you guys. This is the kind of cool stuff that happens in our program, in our real estate donation program. These guys that own the property, he had a partner in this property, right, that invested a certain amount to acquire this property years ago. One of the donors that was the other partner paid that other partner off to make this donation happen. How cool is that? And that's also deductible. Anytime a donor will pay on debt, we've had mortgages and liens extinguished on properties, they can also deduct that. So to make this particular deal happen, they extinguished the other partner's essentially interest in the property, paid on that, a deduction for that to make that happen. This happens all the time. So how would you like this to get real estate, even if there's other parties involved or perhaps other, there's a little bit of a lien or debt on it, the donor will step forward on top of that and extinguish that to make it happen where it's free and clear for our nonprofits. That's powerful. Okay, that's a straight donation. Now, bargain sale. This one's awesome. This one's what generates cash quickly. You're gonna love this one. So I want you guys to pay attention to this one really quick. This is different than the straight donation. Okay, a bargain sale. So a real estate donation sold for substantially less than its current fair market value. All right, again, bargain sale, kind of think like a discounted sale. If you're in real estate, kind of think like a wholesale kind of deal, right? So this occurs typically when the donated property is encumbered with a mortgage. All right, typically when there is a mortgage involved, some form of debt. So again, we talk about this strategy, the donor benefits on the straight donation. Now let's talk about bargain sale. Well, the gift property is subject to the debt. So this is big. This is where I want you guys to pay attention. This is where you're gonna need to write this something down. The gift equals the difference between the fair market value of the property and the debt amount. Okay, what's owed. The gift equals the difference between the fair market value and that debt amount. This in between is the charitable gift. And the same thing as the straight donation we talked about with their partner. Now, if the donor pays on the debt, he or she receives an income tax and charitable deduction as made on that as well, just like the other one. So let's look at this again, right side brain. Let's look at the visual side. All right. So we look at the donor seller that has the property, to the nonprofit, to then our buyer. Same process in mind, right? Going right to the buyer without going into title. And imagine, just for numbers, just for figures, easy math. Let's say the sales price is worth $1 million. It's $1 million or worth about $1 million. And there's approximately $400,000 in debt or mortgage on this property. Right away, there's already a potential of a $600,000 gift right there. Okay, that equity is the gift subject to the debt, right, with the fair market value. So that's a $600,000 potential charitable gift to the donor seller. So let's just imagine two scenarios real quick on this one. All right, that the owner essentially sold the property at $400,000, right, and we found a buyer at right market value for $1 million, and that's a $600,000 gift to the nonprofit, right? That's cash to us. The end buyer got a great deal, and the donor now has a $600,000 gift. And here's where it's big. This is really big now. They can apply that $600,000 gift. The donor can apply it that year on that year's taxes with an additional 5-year carry. 5 years. They can spread that $600,000 gift, right, over the course of that year and 5 additional years. That is huge, huge. And another reason why we've really gone big with this is educating the donors, because even if their accountants and attorneys aren't typically knowledgeable of this, and chances are they aren't either, right? And that's where we've come in a big way with the donors. And we'll show you some tools that we have and how we've accomplished that. Second scenario, let's say they wanted a little cash. Okay, let's say they wanted $100,000 cash out of it in addition to their deduction. Okay, so let's say we acquire for $500,000. So the $400,000 makes the mortgage go bye-bye. $100,000 cash goes to the donor seller because they got it for $500,000, right? And sold it for the same price at $1,500,000, right, to the organization. So they can get both the deduction and cash. Now that's where we're really scoring big. Can you guys see that? Where a donor seller, not like the straight donation, which is donating the property, deducting the entire thing. In a bargain sale, they can both get a lump sum of cash as a donor seller, right? If I'm selling a property, they can get cash and the remainder amount as a deduction. Cash and tax write-offs, that's huge. So let's take a look at a bargain sale. So let's do a bargain sale case study. We had a multi-unit commercial office building last year. Approximate value was $240,000. The donor seller accepted an offer for $80,000 from us, the nonprofit, $80,000, right? We sold to a third-party buyer for $160,000. So we came in as a nonprofit at $80,000. It's worth $240 up here, and then we sold it for $160. So let's check it out like the straight donation. How this broke down is a win-win-win. The donor received $80,000 cash and $160,000 charitable gift deduction. Cash and the write-off. Big, right? Now, the nonprofit received nearly $50,000 cash after closing costs and commissions. And the buyer, the third-party buyer, and you'll see pretty soon why they love us, why investors, investment funds, why they love us. They acquired a fully occupied, in good condition, cash-flowing commercial building at 66% value. Pretty good stuff, huh? All around, right? Everybody won all around. And on top of that, in this case, we brought in a realtor to sell it quickly. They received full commission, and it was a fast transaction because we sold it at a discount. We got to undervalue so much at $80,000 that we could afford to just sell it quickly and give our third-party investors we work with a great deal. So they got their full commission on that very fast as a realtor. You're talking as realtors, we'll talk about how they win the big way. This is a tremendous new business opportunity, referral opportunity for them, new listing opportunities with nonprofits. Realtors they need to be involved in this now. So again, that's what we call a win-win-win-win. So everybody won, the donor seller, the nonprofit, third-party buyer investor in this case, and a realtor, a real estate professional. Win-win-win-win. That's how we structure these all day long. It's based on win. People go win-win. We take it further and go win squared, right? Win-win-win-win. So now here's something that's really cool on that same property. Free media, right? Free media. You tell me if you could buy, first of all, if you could buy this kind of PR, of media, let's take the realtor first, right here. Here's the realtor we worked with. They got featured in the newspaper by helping a nonprofit sell a property and raise nearly $50,000. You talk about cause marketing. If you had two realtors to choose from, one just traditional regular realtor, and the other one that helped a nonprofit, the same thing, has all the accolades and the resume, but they helped a nonprofit sell a property fast that raised nearly $50,000 to benefit relief organizations in Kenya to help orphans. Who would you choose, right? Those same studies we choose on cause marketing, 90% plus of consumers will go with a product or service that's associated with the cause, right? So check that out, free media. The nonprofit, look at that, nonprofit. Guess who started getting phone calls about more real estate, potential donations of real estate? Our nonprofit did. And look at here, here's the owner right there in the newspaper who came forward to make this happen with her property. You don't think she became a hero in the community? I mean, look how that everybody came across from that one property donation that everybody won, and getting free media. That's the next tool we're going to teach you as we go through. I just want to teach you to really grasp the concepts at a very broad overview, okay? But look at the strategy we utilize, you know, along with that about free media. That's a win for cross. And of course, our nonprofits, phones started ringing. We're like, well, I got some real estate. I'd like to do that. So speaking of free media, well, we've implemented the strategy quite a bit. Look at this, national newspaper, Washington Times. That same property we talked about that was at a ribbon cutting, the historic home downtown. Well, there it is, featured in not just the regional news and nightly news on television, but national newspapers, right? Pretty cool, national media attention. Not just local and regional news like on television or papers, even national news is picking up on this, you guys. Right here, same thing, another same strategy we utilize, get the real estate. That's the next strategy, you guys. That's the next strategy we've been harping on. That's what's really making this blow up, is we put together some strategies. We have this great group. They keep us innovating, keep us going, right? So we get this real estate donated. Right now, either we have it or that we've accepted. Once we get it donated, we call for a round of media. They love these kind of stories. They will run these all day. How many of you will go through the news or read the paper and just throw in the trash, turn off the TV because it's just so negative? People are so hungry for this, and that's why they're just gravitating towards us in such a big way, because they need these positive stories, and it's just taking a life of its own. Doesn't matter if it's television news, national news, newspapers, online publications, everywhere is now featuring this. So we have that real estate, boom, we do a media blitz. We do press releases, you name it. If we're looking at then deploying this real estate for programs and services and utilizing it for that, once we have, again, our ribbon cutting ceremonies, guess what? We're bringing media in. That property we just talked about, the historic home, real quick on that one right there, the ribbon cutting, we had not just media there, he had a U.S. House representative there, he had state senators there, he had veterans agencies there. How is that going to be so? I mean, imagine all the indirect benefits we'll talk about that'll open up so many doors from you utilizing free media. So these are the strategies we've now added onto our real estate donation program, is utilizing it for media and exposing it to a huge online audience. And so we want to jump to this one now. Now this is a cool one. Now I want to show you more strategies right here how we're utilizing this. This is from, we'll talk about this one a little bit, big commercial building being converted into veterans housing for their veterans families and their children, right? Now, what else do you think about when we take real estate? We're looking to use it for programs and services. What do we do if we need to remodel it, renovate it? Okay, if we need to, like I said, this one totally, you know, bring in an architect and totally restructure the entire thing to accommodate people for housing, right? What else comes in the form of indirect benefits from media? In this case, we're able to bring in the Home Depot Foundation, which is the charitable arm of the Home Depot that now works with our students to lend expertise, donate equipment, material, supply, labor to renovate these houses. We're talking about generating cash out of the real estate, right? But we have that war chest. We need to hold on to some of it, obviously. Now, if we can go out there and get donated materials, equipment, you name it, everything from paint to flooring to roofs, everything. We get literally just, I can't even describe the dollar amount. And if you can imagine how much it costs to replace a roof on a big house or a large commercial building, right? Or to redo the floors or to paint or new cabinets. Those of you in real estate, it takes a remodel of your little bread and butter houses. It's not cheap. And we're getting now through this media and bringing in people to say, donate. And on top of donating, we're getting people also to donate their labor. They'll install the roof. They'll install the floors because they want to be a part of it. And the media, this free media really exposes it to a large audience of people who just want to step forward and help. We have volunteer days. We have days where the Home Depot Foundation comes in. All of that. Can you imagine how much money that would cost to renovate a large commercial building and to be able to offset a lot of it because we're getting donated equipment and labor and supplies. Huge. So big strategy. In fact, the other house we talked about, they have so much donated material. He's getting about 2 or 3 phone calls a day. Donated appliances, donated furniture, donated clothing, that he's now going to be opening a veterans-based store that's going to be reselling some of that because they have more of that than they do houses, and they have several houses. So another great indirect benefit of using free media. Great strategy. So this is what is really possible with the power of real estate revenue. Let me go back one more. So this house, right, led to this donation of a commercial property, which led to this. This is Senate Bill, Kentucky Senate Bill 128. That's being signed by the governor, where they came on and got, through the media, through attention, through coming to these ribbon cuttings of these donated real estate properties, to now passing legislation, the first of its kind in the country, to make veterans resources equitable for female veterans. The first of its kind. Here's our mastermind student right here, right, holding the bill that she helped champion. That, does it get bigger than that? I don't think so. I don't think so. I mean, she's changed the world, changed our country forever. It's now being looked at the federal veterans level with the VA at the federal level. It's on their website now, all that, looking at the same thing. That all started by incorporating these real estate revenue strategies. And now we're saying, well, look, we're providing housing for female veterans. Well, now we're getting this coalition based around these properties and all the support, all this media, and now we can go forward and we can change policy. That's about as powerful as it gets, you guys. So again, everybody wins. Win, 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 win. I mean, even at the policy making level, how many hundreds of thousands, millions of people, present, future, is that going to benefit? Everybody, right? So let's talk about those wins on an individual basis one more time. Let's break it down. Okay, the benefit to individual donors. So those that are donating real estate to us, the nonprofit. Well, first of all, those property management issues are alleviated. If you know anybody that's got property management, boy, how often do you hear them say, man, the tenants, termites, toilets, and I'm tired of getting phone calls, and the turnover is high, I'm burned out, or they're just not, if it's out of state, they just don't want to deal with it anymore. We hear that all the time. It alleviates all of that because they're now, donating their property over to us. Tax relief. We just showed you the enormous tax incentives to do that. If they have some issues with a high tax burden, or they've incurred a lot of a pretty good tax bill over the course of the year, needs some relief, a donation of real estate that year with a 5-year carry to spread it out, man, that can reduce their tax burden significantly, big time. Mortgage relief. We just showed you the bargain sale. If it's encumbered with a mortgage, right? Even if it's some level, but the payment, or it's vacant and they're having to kind of feed it, right? Because it's vacant, it gets wiped out completely. They preserve wealth for their heirs. That's huge. Wealth management strategy, leave their posterity, their children, in a better position, right? Enormous. Lower transfer expenses. Again, because we're talking about with nonprofit, we've had everything from all the fees that you might look about incurring from title companies. We've had title companies help us pro bono. We've had attorneys handle our closings pro bono because they love what we do. And it's already lower because it's not a traditional type of real estate transaction. Typically, especially if it's fast, right? If they're just doing a quick claim deed, donate to us, and we're selling it. So we really lower those transfer expenses. And this is a big one. We talk about all these great benefits as an individual donor, right? Or a group, or a group that owns a property, you name it. But really, it's all about the mission, you guys. Providing social capital for our nonprofits that benefit the community, that make a big difference, that's still always going to be the big focus. The primary driver of this is still the philanthropic endeavor. That is always the big piece. All that stuff with the incentives, right? And all these things mentioned right here, those are enormous. They're great, but it's still not the big focus. The big focus is always going to be to leave a lasting legacy and providing funds for a nonprofit to carry out its mission. A lifetime income stream, we talk about that as them as owners, where they can look at generating a lifetime income stream, especially if they're elderly, to care for them on a property that's normally a problem, but can now provide them a lifetime income stream, all based on a charitable gift of real estate. Now, those tax liabilities we talked about, this is big. Deduction for federal and state taxes, the capital gains avoidance we showed you guys, right? Income tax savings, look at up to 30% adjusted gross income. Even that, that changes slightly, right? Congress to Congress, they may change, but it's still right now going to be there. And it's what we're seeing right now. It's numbers different than it was years ago. There's even a new, you guys know right now, there's a really big tax reform, right? Coming forward from the White House to Congress, but they're leaving the charitable giving side out of it, deduction. So the income tax side still big, and it will be for quite some time, as long as there's taxes to be paid, right? That's always, oh, how viable is this? How long can we do this? Well, as long as as long as our government keeps collecting taxes, then this will always be a viable strategy. So the realtors we talked about, now this is when we check out if you're a realtor or as a nonprofit working with a realtor. I mean, and this is so underutilized by them, so underutilized. They're normal commissions. They can get consulting fees. They can get performance bonuses. We have it tiered. Again, we're selling it at a discount, so it's typically an accelerated transaction. We're selling it fast. We're getting it free and clear or very cheap. We're selling it at a substantial discount ourselves, so they can also sell it quickly. But if they sell it in less than 30 days, hey, if it's normally 6%, then we'll give them 10. If they do it in less than 60 days, perhaps it's 6. But normally, most of these are always, less than 45 days. So if we do that 30 days or less, hey, you're going to get 10%. It doesn't matter to us, right? We want it sold quickly. We have so much equity to work with, then why not give them a few extra points to sell it fast for us on our behalf? Listing advantage. Again, you saw that realtor that helped sell our commercial property. How much bigger of a listing advantage will he have over his competitors because he can sell them quickly and because he's got the cause marketing attached to it? You talk about a big time advantage over his competitors. That's why we talk about cause marketing. It's not a nonprofit thing. It's a business strategy. So utilizing that will give them so much of an advantage over their competition. I mean, it's crazy. A new client base, us, nonprofits, an entire new client base to work with. National referral opportunities, public relations exposure, all great stuff. The win for us as nonprofits, we get cash proceeds from an accelerated real estate transaction. We get cash fast from an accelerated transaction. Our exit strategies we talked about from our straight donation. We're getting cash flow, we're doing financing, we're using it for office, we got 1031 exchange built in there. Now, this is where I mentioned our investors, investment funds love us. Part of our network, we have 7 investors, investor groups, and investment funds that work with us that buy our properties. They love us because they're buying these properties under value quickly. So they can acquire them at a significant discount. They're fast, they're accelerated. It's a new source of lead generation for them. So we work with an investment fund that has been competing out there with the hedge funds and has been, getting their rear ends kicked a little bit. But now through us, they're getting great deals, probably even better so than what they would normally get, and they work with us. They love it. Volume. When you see the amount of volume of real estate that we're getting, that's what we have. We have so much volume. We have such a diverse type of real estate in volume that's coming to us. Residential, commercial, land, vacant land, you name it. So finding highly targeted leads. How do we do that? That's free and clear properties. That's high equity properties. That's not owner occupied. That is the sweet spot, you guys. That is the sweet spot. We're working by finding these leads free and clear, or they have a high amount of equity, or they're non-owner occupied, they're vacant. That's the sweet spot for a potential donation of real estate. So write those 4 down. Now, the old way was way different, right? Even when we first started this, looking for realtors, title companies, advertising, going to retirement communities, you name it. Very interpersonal type of business, right? The types of marketing were, we did direct mail, postcards, newsletters, online, we did email, we did advertising. So it's really personal. The big difference is that we went to them, right? And if they were interested, then we had to kind of qualify their property. The new way, the power-free real estate with our real estate revenue system, is we identify properties and locate them using our software that are high equity, free and clear, and we're proactive and we go right to them. So now we don't have to wait around and try and contact somebody. Are you interested? Yeah, okay, well, how much do you owe, and get those figures. Now we know where they are. We know where they are. We know where they're high equity. We know they're free and clear. They're vacant, residential, and commercial, and we go after them. We market to them. We go out there on connecting. We arm people with literature, with our pamphlets, with our cards, connecting, you name it. We get on the phone, right? We screen leads. We do our due diligence, deal structure, everything. And we have our free educational marketing. Talk about all those benefits I mentioned before, ways to reduce their taxes, all that great stuff. Okay, everything I just covered earlier, that's exactly what we talk. We arm them with that and hit them with that and do our campaigns. Deduct the full market value now, not what you paid for in the past, everything. So what has that done for us? Okay, especially with the small group I'm going to mention in a little bit. As case studies, vacant lots. Yep, we take vacant lots, resell them quickly, not a problem. You might think, well, vacant lots might be a little difficult to do, right? It's kind of a different, unique kind of property. Not with us. What about vacant, unimproved land? Undeveloped, raw? Absolutely. How about a case study for you on a single family residential house? Okay, a case study on this house right here, where we did a street donation, right? They donated to us free and clear, and now we're turning around and selling it, right? If it's free and clear, we're selling at a discount. If it's distressed, whatever, we can sell it because it's free and clear. That's that sell strategy we're telling you about. Free and clear to us, now we're selling it. And if we sell it at, a 50, 60% discount because if it's in bad shape, it doesn't matter. We got it free and clear. That's a very good margin for us, right? If it's in good shape, right, or retail, that's really good for us because then we get closer to fair market value. But again, we'll probably still sell at a discount because we want the fast transaction. We're getting it free and clear. We have plenty of money there for the nonprofit, so we'll sell it quickly. How about multiple properties? You bet. This is an example. These are 5 properties in 3 states, all in one deal. Did that. Just one that ended before the year. We did 9 properties in multiple states, all one transaction. So even multiple properties aren't a problem. This actual deal, I wanted to show you guys this one. These 5 properties were owned by this group, and they had already been looking to donate them. And they had approached the largest nonprofit, I won't mention, the largest nonprofits. They are household names, a number of them, and they rejected it outright. We took them all in, one transaction, sold them all. Commercial property, absolutely. We mentioned that home for coming up for veterans. You guys, this is a former private school. I want you, when we talk about those margins, okay, right, and when we can create how we're getting them at such a significant discount, even if they're not free and clear, but as a substantial discount. Commercial property on 12 acres. It's got a 21,000 square foot structure, a former private school. Multi-million-dollar property. We picked it up for $125,000. Right? I mean, that's when you say about pennies on the dollar, that's exactly what we do. Okay, and the donor in this case has an enormous deduction, needed some enormous tax relief, and boy, they're doing just fine with that. And this, of course, is exactly what we can do, commercial property, and fast. We got this done fast. You think, well, commercial properties, it takes a long time to get that deal structured. It takes a while to sell it, perhaps. But again, it's at such a tremendous discount, and we're all about accelerated transactions. We got this one done quick. Problem solving. Let me show you guys an example of how we solved the problem for a donor. This property was vacant. It's in poor condition. It was facing tax foreclosure in 7 days. There's a negative association with it because there was a divorce. The owner pretty much just wanted no part of it, even looking at possibly letting it go to tax foreclosure, right? They came to us, so we structured a bargain sale. We sold to a third-party buyer. We saved the seller donor from foreclosure on the tax foreclosure side. The nonprofit received cash from the proceeds of that sale. And the buyer received such a discount, they turned, resold it, and sold it quick and made a big profit. Again, win, 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 right? That's great. And that's what we're all about. And it's solving people's problems on their end, doing something positive with it, and then we bring everybody in where they win. Everyone comes out ahead. So a couple of case studies for you guys on that front. Doesn't matter if it's commercial, residential, land, big commercial properties. Again, this is the same process, the same formula we use over and over again. Now, I want to talk about something special now. We talked about our group. You've heard about them in the emails. You heard about our software system we developed. We can go directly to our owners, right? Right to them directly. No longer about having to connect and do presentations. We know where they are. Our software tells us where these properties are. Residential, commercial, if they're free and clear or high equity. Also, if they're vacant. And we even added another one if they're out of state. That's the big one right there. Okay, all those put together, you got a pretty good lead. Now, we go to them directly. So we put together something very special, an initial roundtable mastermind, right, of 10 of our top students across the country that came together. We call them our purpose pioneers, because in my mind, they're going to be trailblazing the path of social enterprise, right? Because this, and what we talked with Chase about, this new system we have now, it hasn't been done before. We had that initial framework to work with, but what we've done now has not been done, is not being done anywhere in the country. You've heard the numbers about how niche and unique this is. We want to bring people in to buy into this, right? And to work with us in a big capacity, push us to innovate, have them deploy these strategies. And this is how this all started. In late 2015, they bought in to take our real estate donation, program to the next level. That's what it was all about. We knew we had something really special here with our donations, with this program. We had more properties coming in. We had bigger properties coming in than ever before. How can we make it even bigger? Let's get our top students, roundtable mastermind, have them deploy these strategies. And that's what they did. We pushed them, right? We had them buying, we had them implement every single strategy, deploy our formula. They pushed us. You mentioned the media, right? How we brought in realtors. Their persistence in getting these real estate coming in is what pushed us to innovate and make this even better. All those new strategies, they pushed back as hard as we pushed them. That's why we're here today. They took us to new heights. They really did, this first group. And they generated from over 20 million worth of donated real estate in 1 year. They generated revenue from over 20 million worth of donated real estate in 1 year. You guys, just that small group. That group accounted for more than 80% of our real estate donations last year. They bought into that formula. They worked their system. They deployed it. They did everything we asked of them. They turned around and had us. Boy, we were on the donation side, bargain sale buyers, bringing in investors, bringing in an investment fund, putting this big arm together. We've got hedge funds coming to us now on this. They caused us to innovate so much, and this year is off to an even better start. All from that small little group of like-minded, heart-minded people. That's what we were able to accomplish, and that's what we wanted to share with you guys today. And our goal and mission, and we're serious about this. I mean, you know what? People say, hey, you set a lofty goal, right? But in our minds there's no limit, there's no box, right? We're going to generate and facilitate $1 billion in real estate revenue with the Power Purpose Coalition. We're going to fundamentally transform how nonprofits generate funding utilizing real estate. It's already happening. And our mission is to take us even bigger scale going forward now. And I can't wait to share with you guys in just a couple of minutes about what we're doing now, where this is at, and where this is leading us. So again, we're talking about the Power Purpose Mastermind coming up. Who will be our next purpose pioneers? Who's going to be our next one that we show on our presentation, broadcast across the world, that is getting millions of dollars of the real estate, making a huge impact in the world, creating abundance in their own lives, their families, and helping being part we call it the tip of the spear in our army of compassion, right? To fundamentally change how we address their housing needs, how we serve at-risk populations, and how we raise funds for nonprofit organizations that can change the world forever.
Wow, Derek. I'm even more excited to share this. But I'm telling you, when you were showing Phyllis, you guys, when you were watching the first donated house and then a charter school and then at the governor's office, I about had to take my picture off the camera. Talking about emotional. You guys, I've been doing nonprofit work. I've lived in this world. I grew my career for over 30 years. And it truly is the way we're going to bring paradigm shifts, the way we're going to bring entrepreneurial solutions back to this country, to reduce recidivism rates, to get rid of homeless, to end the cycle of poverty, to bring us to new heights, you guys, to bring our kids hope, the kids that are so lost right now. This is a way we can bring the revenue in. And the win-win-win, I've never in my 30 plus years experienced such a win-win-win strategy. And I built my life around the power of masterminds. Back in my early days, we called them think tanks. We were in Washington, D.C., and we were with think tanks. We got out of nursing homes. We got out of institutions. We made this world equal. 25 years ago, we didn't have Kirkpads. We couldn't even be part of the American dream. We were put out of sight, out of mind. And it all started with the power of a mastermind, a coalition. When you see that quote, a few people can make the difference, that's all who did. Look at our purpose pioneers. My journey 30 years ago. And you guys, that was before, telling you my age, we had no internet. We had no email. We didn't even have cell phones. So think of what we can do to transform this world and bring new solutions. You guys are on this call as entrepreneurs. We know what we can do to bring solutions. People just don't know how to start. Right now, we're giving you the opportunity with the Power of Purpose Mastermind. And like Derek said, there are no limits. Guys, I learned laying in a coma, having everything taken away. I learned the power of your mind. The only thing that limits us is the noise from other people and our minds. So what we now are doing is bigger than all of us. And when we go forward and show you and tell you the doors that are opening, we're going into areas that we've never been involved in. And we want you to come along right with us and be on the ground floor of something that's going to take this country by storm. So Derek, let's share some of the things with the mastermind. I want you guys just to close your eyes. I don't care who's sitting there with you. They're thinking, wow, what's going on here? I want you just to imagine what it's going to be like to walk into this room with all of us. And we have investors, we have business leaders, we have philanthropists, and you're part of it. Everyone knows your name. We all are together. We're all like-minded. We're heart-centered. We've got that like heart, and we're leading this country as social entrepreneurs. And those of you that have been with us, My number one insider secret, I always say, it's all about connecting. Going from laying in a coma to setting up my first nonprofit to leading a national organization on disability to creating the Americans with Disabilities Act, the most sweeping civil rights legislation in the history. It was all about connecting. So the Power Purpose Mastermind is all about connecting. We at the Power Purpose, we have spent hundreds of thousands of dollars joining masterminds. That one connection not only can change your business, change where you're headed, it can change the course of history. I've lived it. That connection is where the magic happens. And that's the mastermind we're pulling together to go on this journey with us and be the purpose pioneers that roll out something to this country that truly is going to reshape the fabric of America. And those connections, you guys, they bring shortcuts to us. Instead of having to learn the hard way all the time or be alone, I even saw some of the chat about being sole proprietors and that. This is about building that coalition. This is about having that power team with you. This is about us wrapping our arms around each other and supporting each other. This is your opportunity to not only change your life. The most significant thing I've ever done is being a part of changing other people's lives. Not in a welfare, handing more programs, empowering them to control their own life and destiny. This mastermind is your best chance to work with the socially conscious minds, the best minds in the country. We're going to share strategies, form partnerships, because this will last a lifetime. When Derek texted you about and showed you Mr. Chase Magnuson, our mentor, he'll be with us on the journey of the rest of our life. So we're bringing together people that are like-minded that we want to spend the rest of our life with. Derek and a lot of our team are still those young entrepreneurs. I'm at a stage in life and teaching them the most important thing is to surround yourself with people you want to spend the rest of your life with. And that's what this mastermind will do this as we're on this journey together. And you guys, we started it because the Power Purpose has a mission, those of you that know, to launch and empower at least 10,000 nonprofits. We went big. 2 years ago, we said, there is no limit. There is no box. We don't even think outside the box. There isn't a box. So now, bringing all this together and all the amazing doors that are open, more to share with you, we have 5 simple goals that we put in mind on this mastermind we're launching. Goal 1, we want the greatest minds in this new, exciting, social, enterprise-based economy to share strategies, to offer advice. And we're going to talk about what's working. And it's just important to talk about what's not working. And we're going to come together several times a year, not only with the mastermind, but with leaders in the country that can be part of bringing this goal to it. And then goal number 2, what I experienced throughout my journey in starting one nonprofit, just going to the hospital and doing visitation to help others that were laying in comas, to work with families. And from that, finding other people around the country who are doing it, forming a coalition. We ended up with 800 nonprofits throughout the country. We built a movement. That's what our goal has always been with the Power Purpose, to launch and empower the nonprofits and then start bringing folks together to bring the kind of change Phyllis brought in Kentucky, where now it's about women veterans too, to bring young kids with autism that are lost to be part of the American dream, to bring energy efficiency to our country, to bring senior services, to really bring our seniors back to be the wisdom holders. Don't put them out of sight, out of mind, and throw them away in the warehouse. Let's build supports around them for what they've done for us in our country. So that coalition is going to increase the level of every one of your successes. And together, we can change the paradigm. I've lived it. I've experienced it. I've been a part of watching lives change. I've watched economic impact, you guys. That's our tax dollars. And so we shifted the economic impact where we lived out in the community now. We're doing the same thing by bringing this group together to look at that paradigm shift in all of our broken systems that will create an everlasting impact in the world, for our kids, for me, for my grandkids. I mean, I look at those 3 little grandkids and I think, what are we leaving them with? What kind of debt are they going to inherit? I'm not going to stand back and let that happen. We're coming together and making a change. So goal 3, we're going to create that support group of social entrepreneurs who really deep down understand the struggles, the challenges, the joys of building a lasting enterprise that'll be around long after we're gone, and where no brother or sister is ever left behind in this country. To watch the news in San Diego, Derek, this week, I'm here in San Diego. I'm kind of like the Where's Waldo. They're always going, well, where are you now? This week, San Diego. But to watch that the homeless population has increased over this last year, and they're going in and they're tearing down places where the homeless live because of sanitary conditions. What are we as a country doing? How many kids go to bed hungry every night? Schools are now doing backpack programs on the weekend because kids have nothing to eat during the weekend. This is a chance for us to come together and use this real estate revenue strategy to bring in the funding to help elders who've achieved wealth through real estate, to help them and also help them leave that legacy. Because when we all leave, read Steve Jobs' last thing he wrote about. It wasn't about how many billions Apple had or how many billions he had. What was his life about? What was his legacy? What's he going to be remembered for? That's what this is about. Opening up avenues that's going to leave a legacy. Let us go out and make that kind of impact, and together, come together and build a movement that brings change. Goal 4, to create a much needed peer accountability group that holds all of our members accountable. I got to tell you, Derek, 2 nights ago, I was at dinner with one of our favorite, most powerful mentoring students, Tim, who's done so many charitable giving of real estate deals, providing housing for and with veterans, right? And Tim was at a very powerful real estate mastermind. And everybody had, they were doing great. They talked about the things. It got time for him, and he presented about the 3 houses that were donated, now 11-bedroom house, and now a $1.5 million nursing home. They got under contract for $50,000 with you. Oh, and then Home Depot mailed him a $21,000 debit card to get started on that. Oh, and then his other house, when he showed him pictures, the roof, the flooring, beautiful, state of the art, everything was donated. he said their jaws dropped and they were like, why are we even talking? How are you doing this? And then they showed him a picture of a $100,000 check that President Trump, through the Trump Foundation, gave him. And he said, I'm doing it through my nonprofit corporation. So that bringing us together and holding each other accountable as we move forward. Our last goal that we really worked many years on being able to launch this. You guys are the first that we've been able to bring it all together to create, build, and leave a legacy that really makes an impact. Not just helping a few people here, we're talking about really transformation, paradigm shifts that will change our world forever. So here's what we're going to do, you guys. We're going to meet quarterly, 4 times a year, and we're going to focus on those strategies. And you'll be able to work on your nonprofit, not in your nonprofit, with no distractions. I've always been a part of masterminds through all my journey in my nonprofits. Now with our for-profit corporation, the masterminds are where we're really being able to focus on the growth of going to the next level. And think about it, you guys. Wow, what you could accomplish in 2 days without a cell phone and text and emails and calls. And that's where we're going to take this. Another benefit for you guys is we're going to schedule a monthly call for an hour with each one of you. We have the most powerful team. I've always had powerful teams to do what we've done, right? This by far surpasses any team I've worked with. Between me having 30-some years experience in the nonprofit world, starting with a little tiny nonprofit because I laid in a coma and went from why me into what's my purpose. At an early age, I got to figure out that life is about living your purpose. You know, all the other stuff is stuff. And so going from that, being able to share that expertise with you guys. Tracy, who has the engineering mind. I'm the storyteller. Tracy goes and puts it into the format. Derek, who leads a national nonprofit. Not only is he the mastermind and the mind behind all of this, he also leads. He walks the walk every single day on the nonprofit world. Ed Roll, I can't wait for you guys. Ed, we've been on this journey together since the beginning with Ed. Ed's got the most brilliant mind, 2 law degrees, and he gets tired of saying this, but we don't hold it against him, right? Left law practice a long time ago to start raising money for socially conscious businesses. Led a nonprofits, launched an international nonprofit. His mind is so brilliant at thinking through, we're doing public-private partnerships. So you're going to have all different ones of our team coming in and meeting with you one-on-one. And we discuss what you want to discuss, whether you're connecting with the legislator, you've got 3 more real estate deals. This is your time for us to come together and mentor you through that. And then they love this, our private message boards. You guys, this is our members' favorite because 24/7, you can get questions out there, you can start chats, you can dialogue. That's where we're building a lot of momentum. We come in with the team and answer, and we have advisors, we have faculty now that will come and be part of this. And you can also share with the other folks in the mastermind. And you're going to get instant access to all of the Power Purpose resources. We've spent many, many years now developing our online products, our memberships. You'll get full access. We've just launched our Power of Purpose campus. It includes our Purpose into Profit training program, and we have Nonprofit University. We're bringing faculty members every week live. We've got all kinds of archive, templates, anything you need and everything to launch your nonprofit, to grow your nonprofit, to take it heights you've never even dreamed of. And you get lifetime access to the Power Free Real Estate software system that Derek was talking about. It's Chase, when he looked at it, said, this is the Ferrari of anything that's ever been done. And so to have that software that's got the letters embedded in it, and amazing. I won't even go into detail, but we'll go through that during the masterminds. And travel. You guys, like I said earlier, I'm like the Where's Waldo, but I'm the Where's Sherry. We do a lot of traveling, and so we want you guys to meet up with us during our travels. Like Tim was in San Diego this week, so we went and had dinner together. We travel all across the country. We go to events. We want you to be a part of that. We meet with legislators. We talk to, have mastermind groups. So when we're in your communities, we're going to spend time with you, and we're going to have lots of fun. Those of you that don't know me, you need to know one of my biggest mottos throughout my career, any team I had, was, if it's not fun, we're not doing it. So we got to have fun involved in this. That's what brings us together.
Yeah, this we talk about in the beginning about becoming family. That's really what we are, and we're hoping people will join that and all connect together to become one large family. This is the fun part, the work, the strategy, and the fun stuff. This is what we're all about.
Yeah.
This is absolutely one of our favorites, is when we travel. Many of you know that when we do events, this one was with Speaking Empire, if you're familiar with them. We brought a bunch of our students to come in. They were VIPs. We met the whole weekend to strategize, network. We hang out with them all the time. We meet on calls. But to get together in person, we do this all the time. This is one of our absolute favorite things to do when we travel. We're always looking to connect with our mastermind students. It's so much fun too.
Oh man, talk about fun. This was just last month. I was invited to come and be one of the keynotes at the Office Depot Foundation Women's Symposium in West Palm Beach. An amazing event. And again, that masterminding, connecting with Mary Wong, the president of Office Depot Foundation. That cause marketing Derek's talking about, Office Depot, because they set up a foundation now, they have a stronger customer base. They're doing amazing things out in the community. And one of our mentoring students in Florida, Linda, who, by the way, this is a big one to point out. She's been with us maybe a couple months. We just started mentoring with her and got a house donated. And within, I think, 2 months, turned around and sold it and had $130,000 in her bank account for a nonprofit.
Yes.
That's a pretty dang good way to start, huh?
We noticed about Office Depot Foundation, right? What a great place to connect our students. Invited a bunch of them to come and join Mom there when she had a keynote there. It was amazing. They got the most amazing connections there. We featured Linda in this case because it pertains to real estate. Because yes, many of you might be thinking, well, I don't have a nonprofit set up yet. I'd like to. She joined our program, got a house donated worth about $160,000. We sold it for $135,000. So in a couple months, you guys, from setting up her organization to then, her corporation was set up and she had $130,000 plus in her account of her nonprofit. And she was literally had a nonprofit set up within, a couple months. Even, and we mentioned the rest of our mastermind, just a couple of that. Again, those of you thinking like, well, I don't have a nonprofit set up yet, or I need my designation. You guys, we have students, again, they push us, right? They come into our program. they've gotten they've gone out and done our marketing programs and campaigns, have gotten real estate donated 4-6 weeks before they're even incorporated. We're getting real estate donated to our nonprofits that aren't even set up yet. And what do? We just simply hold on to the real estate until they get incorporated, and then we're ready to go.
And the incorporation takes a few days, you guys. All the myths out there about, oh, it's complicated, it takes no. And talk about fun. So Linda, when I was going to Florida, she lives in Florida, so she came up and was the VIP with me. She got to sit at the head table. We're talking hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of women, a few token men, Derek, so we won't leave you out. But Linda got to be at the head table and sitting with the main leaders talking about her nonprofit. So you guys, it's fun. It takes you to a heightened level. You're visible. So that's what this is about.
Absolutely. And it's a great point you brought up earlier about, if you're setting up a nonprofit or you're in startup, doesn't matter whether you're just incorporated or haven't incorporated yet. It's unlike anything, and you've been following us, where we can get organization incorporated within days and within a couple of weeks, go from an incorporated nonprofit to get its 501c3 designation within a couple of weeks with real estate waiting at the bay. It doesn't matter if we're sitting on it waiting for our students, or if they are, if we create, it just basically, if we sell it and it sits in an interest-bearing account until they get that and we transfer it over, if we set up a forgivable loan that turns into a grant, essentially, we have all that covered. So again, we talk about accountability, whether you're not incorporated yet or you're a brand new startup, you just got the papers yesterday in the mail, you are ready to rock and roll for real estate revenue. Do not let that be deterrent. There are no limits. We got that covered.
Yep.
Here's a fun one.
Yeah.
So even you guys, this is why we say we love travel. You may have seen this. We did webinars, this group, with my fiance. We took a week-long vacation to Hawaii. I spent 2 full days of the vacation meeting with our mastermind students out there, because this is what we'd love to do. Again, you're our extended family. Some of them are on with us. We see you guys. You guys are your family, and we just love, because so many times when we do this, virtually would not be able to go there and link up and meet up with them, strategize, talk about real estate. We talked about real estate on this. We did a webinar to our lit that we broadcast their nonprofit to our whole database from the beach in Waikiki. This is what we live for, you guys. We love doing this.
Wow. And we got invited to go out to a legacy ranch and be part of the initial starting of a legacy council. So Derek and I, Tracy, we all went out there, and with about 15 of us, again, a mastermind, some of the top leaders from diverse parts of the corporate America, a supermodel. I mean, we had very diverse. We instituted a legacy council. Well, we're only about 2 hours from one of our mentoring students, so we invited him out, and he was able to come and be a part of that during one of the days. So this is at a legacy ranch where a legacy council was formed. So you guys, bringing you huge opportunities together, that's where we're going to make the difference.
And again, this was in kind of rural, middle of nowhere, Missouri. But you know what? If you're in, some of you, I see you, you're chatting right now, I see you. You were invited there, you missed out. But if you're within proximity and we're doing something fun or strategy, or we think there's some great connecting potential, once there was, with on the veterans front in this case, guess what? We're going to meet up. We're going to strategize, and we're going to have some fun too. I love this one. We talk about this, one of my favorite things to do when we get donated real estate. We use those media strategies we talk about. This one was in Lexington, Kentucky, you guys. The other ones are in Iowa, Florida, you name it. Ribbon cuttings. You got ribbon cuttings and you got media. And again, we're out and about. We have the opportunity to do so. We're going to make those ribbon cuttings, not just help you with those media strategies, but we're going to make sure and also be a part of it and make it successful. We love going to ribbon cuttings with our real estate donation program. Now this one, okay, this one's on me. All of you, I see some, you guys know, they're on the line that you know in our mastermind, you bet. My fiance is the softball coach for the University of New Mexico, and it's season right now. So you know we're traveling to California or Nevada, Arizona, Texas, Colorado. If you're within that area, you already know I'm calling you. I've had so many of our students come and join us at even our softball games, just because we love that. Because again, we're family. We really are, and that's what we're looking to build here as a coalition base. And this is why we take the opportunities to meet with our students, because it's just so important being connected like this. That you guys think about the results that we've got from this small group, right? The Purpose Pioneers, that small group of 10. We couldn't have done that if we weren't not just in alignment, but connected like this, connected at this level, being family. This is what has allowed this to happen. This is what allowed all this opportunity before us, is because we're one big family. Even I love this one. We had to put this one in. This was 4th of July last year. We were outside of Nashville, Tennessee. Found out one of our mastermind students was in Nashville for the 4th. We were outside. We rented this great property on this ranch for the 4th, with about 30 miles away. So we told them, come on out, we're going to barbecue. So we came out and barbecued for the 4th. We just love this. You guys are our family. So just can't state that enough. Okay, now I'm going to talk about this one because this one's super awesome. We're going to talk about early access. Remember, we push them, they push us. So with early access and insights, here's the Power Purpose. We figure out new innovative strategies before anyone else. Believe me, especially on this real estate component. A lot of this has never been done before. I can't wait to show you what we're doing. Some of these we discussed publicly. Our best covers we never see a lot of day. The only exception is the Power Purpose Mastermind meetings. It's the only exception where we use these strategies for them, because they are the pioneers. And again, we, from some very high-level networks, entities, we're getting a lot of buzz. We want to keep a lot of this consolidated for our students to just continue to grow beyond our expectations without anybody kind of coming in on competition-wise. So you'll see it all, and better yet, you'll see it before anyone else does. This gives you a massive event. This is why we talk about those huge nonprofits, and we do have some large nonprofits we've worked with, but these mastermind members of ours, they're the ones that took these strategies in those behind closed door master meetings and deploy these strategies and generating, over $20 million out of real estate with revenue, because we work together in that very kind of round table scene, that kind of setting, you guys, and deploy that formula. And that's why all these very, very large organizations are still inquiring. They're not taking donations, whatever it is, but that's why we are really just going full force with this, is because of this right here, early access and insights. So as an example, I'm going to pull this up too, if you can see webcam. Thousands of dollars of investment have gone into this. This is a template form booklet that I'm at. So we're about to deploy this right now. This has about as professional as you get, and it's in template form for our mastermind members. It basically has where it says like XYZ, you're putting in your nonprofit name. That's it. Your nonprofit name and contact information. This is theirs to use. This is for the mastermind members. Full benefit information. Look at all these actuaries we put together. So much investment we're in that now for our mastermind members. We have the marketing strategies down, right, through mailings, right, deploying that. Connect. Now when they connect with people in those connections, they have something in hand to give to donors. How about Chase Magnuson's book, you guys, The Secret Power Behind Real Estate Donations? Some of you know that book. Well, guess who we put together with this mastermind? A special kind of a partnership of white labeling his book right here, where our nonprofits and our masterminds can use this book for donors, put the name of their nonprofit on the top. We have a deal with their publishing company where we can custom brand the name of the nonprofit on the book, you guys. And then imagine handing out those books to donors in the community. How big is that, to have your nonprofit name put on from the publishing company on that? Another thing we've developed for our mastermind students. And my favorite, because you guys know how big we are about the online estate, donatemyrealestate.com, where our mastermind students will be getting their own custom website on this new platform. And guess what? We can start driving, what we do online with the Power Purpose. Now we've got mailings, We've got things in hand when you're connecting. Now we're going to start generating the leads online, you guys. We're going to start generating people, donors interested to come to this website. By creating your own website, you now can send them online where we'll build all the content, resources, information. The donors will capture it, and then we'll facilitate the whole process for you guys. So now you can drive leads online just like we are, and you'll get your own customized site. That's what we're working on right now. It's new and innovative. I cannot wait for that to come out. Our mastermind members, they are just beyond thrilled about that one. And this is really big news, you guys, really big news. We talk about, what this has done for us in the terms of investment funds, real estate investors, real estate investor groups, hedge funds. Hedge funds have contacted us now about that, with donating their real estate assets to help with their shareholders, because that can apply towards all of their shareholders in the form of write-off, cash. Silicon Valley executives and companies are working with us in this concept to some capacity. And this is what this has led to, all these years of work, all these incredible results with our Purpose Pioneers, is the Social Ventures Legacy Fund, a fund that we set up in the last couple of years now, where we're being approached, and we have some very big announcements next month on asset managers, Wall Street firms, venture capitals, to raise funds for this fund on the entire concept of our real estate donation program, with the deployment, the marketing, and of course the acquisition, buying of our properties as well. We have the buyers now figured out. We have people that have raised, I can't even tell you, 8 figures, more. It's just unbelievable. And they're coming in a big way. And our mastermind students are going to be able to plug into this fund. And we're looking at some big trips back east, the Big Apple, on meeting with venture capitalists, Wall Street firms, on raising capital for this fund very, very quickly. And we're bringing our mastermind students with us on this concept with this fund. And we have the most incredible people that have a grasp of this concept from all walks of life in the real estate realm, very, very high level real estate realm, from development, investing, capital investment firm, finance people, all coming together on this particular enterprise. And all of our mastermind students are going to be involved and plugged in with this, you guys. And we've been floating on air about this one for so long, and we're so close to being able to announce it. We want to give you guys a sneak peek tonight, but that's what this concept is. It's about what this change that it brings is about. This is who it attracts, you guys, and it's all about you guys out there. And of course, we talked about it's a fund. It's got a capitalistic endeavor, but the ROI, it still matches up, right, from a capitalistic endeavor. But our end user, our ROI, is people, right? That's our end user, is that we can use those same means and methods of finance and marketing and entrepreneurship to generate rates of return on investment. But in addition to that, it's going towards this real estate concept and people in need, and raising funds, big funds, for nonprofits out there making a difference. So that one's great. Now, this intimate connection to like-minded leaders and professionals. And this is our single most valuable asset. This is like connecting part again. So we'll let Mom just kind of show you guys through this one about what this group is all about, these relationships, why they're so core.
Well, Derek, you made the announcement, or almost there, on the Social Ventures Legacy Fund. You guys, that is a major step forward. Talk about not being in the box, talking about something that's bigger than us, for all the folks in that world, in the financial world, to hear what we're doing with real estate revenue and come to us and say, I want to help fund the fund. And I'm going to take Derek to New York City to meet with 4 funds that I've spent 40 years with. And when they see the kind of socially conscious The ROI is the same or better than any other fund, but there's a socially conscious aspect to it. That has the buzz like I've never seen before. It's got the finance world taken by storm. So the valuable asset that's coming forth with this mastermind is to bring all of us together and build those strong relationships and help bring you into that network. The networks that are opening up to us, we are so blessed, so grateful, so overwhelmed in a great way that so much is coming to us right now. So many doors are opening. We want to bring you into that network. And then along with that network, have your own personal concierge. Because when you're out there doing what we're doing, when you're part of this mastermind that we're all bringing together, we want to be there to help you every step of the way. So we have a VIP concierge team that you're going to be able to call on. They'll answer your questions. They'll get us to the right people you need to talk to, get you the resources you need, and keep all of us connected throughout this incredible journey we're embarking on. So
Now,
the benefits, accountability, Derek.
yes.
You guys, like Derek said, you've held our feet to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
That's what's launching this fund. Wait till we come on next month and tell you. Derek says shortly, he's taking Derek in 2.5 weeks to New York City. So this accountability, holding your feet to the fire, boy, they've held our feet to the fire. There's deadlines, there's meetings. We're doing a Zoom tomorrow. We're creating all these pitch decks and you get your feet held to the fire. We're going to do that with all of you. You'll do it with each other so that we're not only out there with our nonprofit and helping folks, we're accountable to bringing systems change. And all of us together are going to make that happen.
That's right. We push you, you'll push us, but the other members will push you as well. It's all about accountability. Okay, now here's the huge mastermind benefits, you guys. This is big. This is what our first group of Purpose Pioneers, this is what this is all about. This is what's available to our mastermind members. The facilitation for gifts of real estate. So the mastermind members get full access to our turnkey real estate donation program. This includes crafting your marketing campaign with the power of free real estate. So again, through our software system, we'll target geographic location by county, state, zip code to identify those properties we talked about that are ideal candidates for a real estate donation. These are ideal ones are residential, commercial, defined as being free and clear, high equity or vacant. We identify those properties by all that data through our software system, and then we use this algorithm system to ensure that it's current. But this is what we do. We identify those properties using the software for our mastermind members. The mail marketing system. The next step is we take those selected properties identified, we import them directly into our integrated automated mailing system, and then we have a multi-step mailing campaign that reaches the donor sellers with a phone number to contact our representatives about potential donation of real estate. The inbound phone system. So then mastermind members are assigned a personalized phone number for tracking leads which donors recall from the mailing campaigns. And also on your customized website, on business cards, our mastermind members get a personalized phone number, so it drives all those leads to our inbound phone system. So we get your properties identified, we develop the marketing campaigns, we assign you a number to put on everything else, including the mailings like stationery, and it all comes to us to our inbound phone system. That's just how our mastermind system do it. It's turnkey. We handle every aspect of a triple real estate from start to finish. You guys, start to finish. That's evaluation. After we receive those leads from the nonprofit partner, right, on the phone, we begin the facilitation process and evaluate the property and needs of the donors. We then go into structuring offers. We submit offers on the leads received by phone. After evaluating those needs, we talk to them on the phone, decide their needs. We go right into structuring an offer, you guys, right to that donor, right there. That's been the big change. We go right to offers, whether it's cash or straight donation, speak their language, know we're serious. That's what's really blown this up. Negotiation, based on the acceptance, rejections, or counteroffers, whatever it is, we take that next step. We begin the negotiation period with the seller donor. Do all the negotiation. We then do a closing. We got a price locked in. We have a deal with the donor, right? Then we then go to closing with funds and transfer. But here's where it goes. We move to closing, and then we already have our list of buyers, right? We have our list of buyers already built in, or investment funds, or in this case, the Social Ventures Legacy Fund is coming in. And that's how we have an accelerated transaction, you guys. We get it under agreement. We already know what our buyers want to pay for. We go to our investor networks, our investment fund, and then we get it closed. And we get it closed fast. Once we get it closed, we handle all of that. We handle all of that for you, start to finish, turnkey. We plug our mass members right in. And here's the truly mind-blowing part about our system, you guys, why we're generating so much revenue, is 75% of the proceeds of the transaction are transferred to the nonprofit from closing. And the facilitating nonprofit takes a 200% as a facilitation fee. Not even 50-50. You may know tons of fundraising companies or other organizations that'll do capital campaigns, fundraising drives and campaigns, where they're taking 50, 60% or more, or even something like this where it's 50-50, or even the best deal you might be able to find with the facilitating nonprofit is maybe 35 or 40%. We do 25 because we believe in what our students are doing. And we want them funded, we want them sustainable, we want them growing. So we do all of that heavy lifting, the entire deal process from identifying the leads to coming time when what's your bank account information, we're going to transfer from the closing table. 75% of the proceeds, you guys. No program like it. And on top of that, after closing, guess what? There's post-closing documentation that's needed. That's what we get with the donor. Provide all the IRS forms they need, along with thank you letters and some other forms, right, for thanking them for their donation, that they'll turn in to their tax professional for their tax deductions. We handle all that post-closing documentation, even well after the closing. All of that, A to Z, start to finish. You plug in. They identify kind of area they want to work with their marketing campaigns. They look at a marketing budget. We take it from there all the way through, even beyond the closing table, finding buyers, to even the post-closing documentation down the road with the donors. Truly turnkey. It really is turnkey, you guys. Now, Mastermind admittance, membership decisions are made by Mastermind mentors and advisors, like the best, or the founder of the Power of Purpose, an example, who personally overlooks our Mastermind applications on a case-by-case basis, based on 5 criteria. You guys, Mom mentioned the 5 goals earlier. These are our 5 major criteria, okay, about our Mastermind admittance. 5. And these are very, very important, you guys, about when we look at accepting new Mastermind members. What are you able and willing to contribute to the group? Okay, it's about sharing. It's about growth. It's about connectedness. It's about family. So we're talking about what are you willing to contribute to the group? Not just all the information you can gain is mind-blowing. It's unbelievable, right? However, what are you yourselves? Skill sets, right? Experiences, strategies. What can you contribute to the group? Your nonprofit mission, even if you're looking to set one up, right? What is its focus then? What's your probability to generate massive results? Because that's all we're focused on. You guys, a very small round table of students. And that's just the real estate side, you guys. Those students got so much funding from other outside sources. That's just a turnkey system they can plug into as part of their membership. Your overall personality match to the existing group. Are you a team player? Are you like-minded with us? Are you like-hearted with us? Are you willing to share and engage and be held accountable and hold others accountable? Number 4, recommendations of other mass members and advisors. Give recommendations from advisors like the guru here, like the one and only Sherry Watson, or other members of our team, or other Mastermind members currently in there. And this one's big, you guys. This one probably supersedes all others. And we're this is what it's all about. A total commitment, a total 100% commitment to build a sustainable nonprofit that will change the world forever. Those are our 5 criteria on how we look at admitting and accepting new members to our mastermind, you guys. And this isn't for everyone. Right, Mom?
Yeah. In fact, you guys, this mastermind is not for most of you. It's something you can work toward. So, frankly, some who apply are not accepted. So, if you manage to get accepted, you'll be able to call some of the best and brightest minds in the world of social enterprise your friends and family. And tonight's the first night we've launched it, and we've already got 2 of our beautiful mentoring students that have already joined in. And so Derek,
just today. That's right.
Yeah, just today. So what we recommend, and Derek, if you want to take us to the next slide, understand that it's a very high-end exclusive mastermind because we're rolling out things that are bigger than us. And you're going to be doing the same thing. So together, we're going to select a few of you right now to launch this first mastermind that we're taking out into the world.
It's time, everyone. We have been driven and pushed from so many amazing people and been so in depth with building until that small group we put together on this real estate concept. And they're out there getting deals, and they're getting 75% of the proceeds of every single deal. All they had to do was just lead generate, refer them over into the system, and grow and grow and grow. And now it's time. We're being pushed by so many people in so many incredible walks of life and business and industry leaders. People we're bringing together, as we mentioned, from all walks in that world, very high level. It's time, you guys, and it's time to take this to the stratosphere, because that's where we're going. So who will be our next purpose pioneer?
We're looking for our next group, you guys, for the Power Purpose Mastermind. We want those of you that are serious with your business hats on. Nonprofits are not bake sale charities. They're very powerful corporations. So we're selecting our first 10 charter members to lead us and trailblaze the path of social entrepreneurs. The first 10, and we got 2 of our students today said, hey, we want in. You're going to get a special inaugural discount and all kind of bonuses. So after that, the price is going to go up. So tonight, you guys, let's put that phone number up there, Derek. Let's get things going and show you how serious. Our first mastermind meeting is going to be in our home in New Mexico, Albuquerque, New Mexico, the land of enchantment. You get to come and have that green chili with us, experience the culture, and most of all, come together with the most powerful minds in this country in social enterprise. And we are launching something this country has never seen. So you guys, are you ready to join? We encourage everyone to fill out the application. Let's start connecting. Let's find out where folks are. So
well, before we do that, again, everyone, we talked about our 10 charter. We had 2 that came in prior to this, and we talk about the exclusivity, the power, people involved, again, within our network, our team, people involved with the Social Ventures Legacy Fund that have managed hundreds of millions of dollars in the finance world, all being a part of this. And we started with 10 with our Purpose Pioneers. They did incredible things. And that's where we're coming back around to 10. Wow. With 2 already taken, 8 more to go, because the price will, because again, we want to keep this intimate. you guys. We want to keep them to give full focus, attention, devotion to an independent group of difference makers and change agents. They're going to go out there and take this, because it's more than just us, you guys. This is about a coalition and fundamentally transforming the world. We really, really believe that, especially on this real estate concept and what all is happening.
Yeah.
And we're about to open this up right now, okay, with phone number, and we hope you'll call in 8 people. Okay, here it is. We have 2 phone numbers for you. First one is 505-375-0345 or 505-333-8598.
So again, you guys, call right now, and I know I already see that there's some calls coming. They'll put you in order of the calls. And say that again, Derek, the numbers. 505.
1 second here. Go ahead. Let me just pause this. Just lost the PowerPoint, but you guys, this, and it has to be this part for a very small, intimate group. It just has to be on this part to start. But we want to take the first action takers, okay, that are ready and willing to do this, deploy every single formula that we teach. They're willing to be part of a group, okay?
So you guys
Work together.
call. One of the numbers is 505-375-0345. And what's the next number?
505-333-8598, or you can visit nonprofitwebclass.com/mastermind. Now, I know there's a lot of people on the line tonight. There's only a couple of phone numbers. And again, our first 8 is our charter inaugural members, you guys, 8. We said 10, but we've already had 2 that came in already. And if you call in and it's busy, leave a message. They will be returned by order received whenever they call back. You can also go to the website and just input your information right there. It'll ask just for your name and email and your contact information. And our reps are going to call you. And it will be, and also on the site, just like the phone calls on the site, a little bit of a very small, questions about those commitments, about those principles, okay, in interview format. And then we'll work from there on looking at the admittance of that. But we encourage everyone to call, everyone to go online and be a part of this, that can, like I said, really not even about us, but our small group being connected. And of course, our end users, everyone that's on the line, our end users is everyone in need, everyone out there looking for change. Our end users are just helping those that have been left behind, helping those that are downtrodden, losing hope. You guys can do that, and you can be a part of it and work with us on this and connect in a most extraordinary way. Build an amazing corporation, fund it well to do amazing things, and also build financial abundance for yourselves and your families utilizing number. We highly, highly teach that, you guys, about doing well by doing good, or doing that by doing good, right? So that's exactly what we're teaching here, you guys.
Yeah, you guys go online, go to nonprofitwebclass.com/mastermind, and it's got a synopsis of what we talked about, the different things we're going to be doing, the access you'll have to the different things, what's included in the mastermind. So go check out that site, look at that, and then leave your information, and we'll get back with you, and we'll bring the right, like-minded people together.
Mm-hmm.
To really bring true change to this country and bring you the funding you need to go out and make the impact. Derek, it's been the journey of a life to find out early in life something that was so tragic, so triumphant, to learn how to live a purpose-driven life. I want that for you guys. There's nothing that will fulfill you so deeply inside. That $1 million in your bank account, that Ferrari, that Aston Martin, those trips around the world, nothing is as fulfilling as living that purpose-filled life and having an impact on people's lives, to watch them become empowered and take control of their own life and destiny. So go to the website, join us. Let's build these movements that are going to leave a great, bright future for our kids and our grandkids, to make this a better world than we came into.
Join our movement, join our family, and look at, part of that family on doing absolutely amazing things that have not done before, that are literally changing the world, has every aspect of every societal fabric of our country talking, buzzing, every industry buzzing, as we mentioned before, and be a part of that. And that's really what this is, you guys. Let's take things to extraordinary levels, to just take a complete dream shot, walk lockstep with us, and let's build something incredible. So we want to thank you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time, everyone. This has been, for me, very special. This has been years in the making, and I'm just so glad to now be able to take this out. We've been so busy doing so much real estate, so many properties, building system on top of that, to where this is now, involving the investment world, the financial world, bringing them all together. This is going to be something that years from now, will be just a normal function of society, you guys, but everyone will know it has started here, and we were all a part of that. And I just cannot thank you enough for just listening. And please call. Again, 8 spots for that first inaugural one. We're going to keep, beyond that, the price will go up. It has to, because we want to keep these groups intimate, and those that take action should be able to get that. But we hope, no matter what, you're calling in, go to the website. Once again, last time we'll say it, even if you don't get through, leave a voicemail. Our reps will get back to you, be talking to you about this in further detail. The same thing on the application. They will be answered in the order that you call in or submit on the website. And we're looking forward to hearing from you guys so much more. There's so much more to come, you guys. I cannot wait. I hope you continue following us and come on board with us. We cannot wait. We're just beyond thrilled. This is very composed for us right now.
I know, I'm having a hard time.
And usually we're like on these chairs and we're spinning. And mom's doing her woo. So please come join us. Your family, let's do amazing things together, you guys, with this mastermind. We're going to leave the numbers up and the site up, but from my side, just once again, thank you so much. We appreciate all of you, and I'll leave it for Mom to sign us off. Thank you guys so much.
Derek, I just want to share such deep gratitude for you spending 10 years focused and dedicated and determined and persevering. And you'll meet Ed, you guys. Ed, same thing with our fund. He knew 4 years ago when my dad was called home and he spent his life in the world of mission work and giving back and rebuilding communities, and how would we honor him through his legacy. And we sat at a live event with my dad's picture behind us, and Ed said, we're going to set up a fund that is going to transform this country. And to watch you and Ed, Derek, stay focused, stay dedicated, all of you guys that have stayed with us for the last 2 hours while we've unveiled and tried to stay calm. There are so many coincidences happening that aren't coincidences. Not experienced this kind of thing happening since my accident, when things just kept happening. This is what's happening in our life right now. And to have you join us on the journey, Jolene, I see your message that you called and left a message. I've already got text that there's a lot of calls going. Thank you for being a part of us tonight. Thank you for the hearts you have and the business minds you have to be part of this, to now take that step of faith, take that step of action. It's going to take all of us to a whole new level, a heightened level that we can bring solutions forward. I've lived it. I've been blessed to have that opportunity. Now it's your chance. So Derek, thank you so much for not just tonight, but for working and building and believing to bringing us to where we are now. There's no looking back. Like my mentor told me today, as I told him we were unveiling this, hundreds of you joined us. And he said, your world is spinning and you better hang on because it's not going to quit spinning now. So come and join us, and together we're going to have the journey of our lifetime, and it's going to be so much fun.
Yeah, and thank you, Mom, again for coming on. This is your legacy. This is a testament to your legacy and what you're leaving behind, and all of our students, especially those in our mastermind that are just changing so many lives, changing their own lives as well along the way, and doing well by doing good. That's what it's all about. Come join us, everyone. So love to have you. Can't wait for you to join our family. And we're gonna leave this up for you guys. And we're looking forward to hearing more from you. Cannot wait. Those of you that are joining us, we'll see you in Albuquerque. Absolutely incredible things to discuss. You guys are amazing. Thank you again for taking the time from your schedules. We appreciate all of you. Have a great night.
Good night, guys.